Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
But I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today. Pretty cool! Pretty damn cool!
It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
Calm down, Greg, it's soccer.
And you can't stay off the weed!
This guy's such an idiot here.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Like an improv conversation. Improversation.
Great track.
What track?
Piper's Heat.
Oh, Piper's Heat. Yeah. Good track.
Great track.
Good track, man.
You know, that's the first time I played Piper's Heat, and I love it, man.
Did you enjoy it? Yeah.
Linksy style a little bit, and like, yeah, I don't know, it's just working for me a little bit.
Did you know that was the first job I ever had? Piper's Heat.
You told me that
when it first opened, back shop.
A few days ago. You told me that, and I know you had worked at golf courses in the past, but no, I didn't know Piper's Heath was one of them.
It was my first ever job, Piper's Heath Golf Course here in Oakville, Ontario. I worked in a back shop. I think it was probably the summer from grade 8 going into grade 9. What's so funny?
I just realized I'm still sitting on both of these chairs.
Are you sitting on both?
One cheek on the left chair and the other cheek on the right chair.
HA on one cheek and then PPY on the other. You got a great shirt on as well today.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I don't know if
Do you remember
that.
when I bought this?
Yeah, for Digital Dreams 2014.
Tiesto.
I think. Yeah, that was probably one of the better Digital Dreams. There was a picture with our friend Anish. He had the England soccer mask on.
You know, we mentioned Anish enough times on the show already, eh?
Yeah, I wonder if he's listening. Anish, if you're listening, hit us up.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. Who knows? Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to another Improversation, your end of the week feel good Friday show.
Yeah.
If you guys are new to the show, remember to hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen.
Smash, smash, smash.
Leave a comment or review. We encourage any and all types. Follow us on our social media pages at Improversation Pod on Instagram and TikTok, at Improversation P on Twitter.
Follow me.
As always, follow us to beanbundle.com and use promo code IMPROV25. Fresh and different coffee beans for you and your loved ones to try, delivered right to your door. Promo code IMPROV25 for 25% off your month-to-month subscription. Visit beanbundle.com for more.
Yep.
Now, Mike, we had a little conversation off the air before we get into the Olympics and
There's so much.
Kyle Lowry and Evander Kane. And I have a real or freel for you today. We haven't played that segment or that game in a while.
Correct.
And I have another little, not would you rather, but it's kind of like a pick and choose between two brands. And there's a story behind it, obviously. So we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But the conversation we had off the air was about, and it's still in my mind. And I know it's not our podcast; it's from another podcast. But this girl's name is Yeonmi Park, and she escaped North Korea when she was 13 years old. I haven't been able to stop thinking or talking about this since I listened to the episode. I guess it would have been a couple days ago now if you're just tuning in. And it just blows my mind how there's still a place like that on this earth. It's still going on. It's 2021.
Yeah.
And the story she was explaining about how North Korea runs stuff over there. It's basically one giant concentration camp. She compared it to the Hunger Games. She said, this is exactly what it's like to live in North Korea. There's districts and people are starving, and that's how you're meant to think, is just worry about getting food, because
you're not meant to think
you're not meant to think at all.
Like that's the reality of the situation. You keep your people stupid. You keep them, if you can't think if you don't know what to think about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's basically their whole mindset. That's how they keep their powers. They want to keep everyone weak.
Imagine just being hangry all the time.
Oh, man.
But like your entire life, like that's the only thing because they keep you, they starve them basically because when you're that hungry to that extent, you can't think about anything else except where you're going to get your next meal from.
And that's what they want you to think all the time.
That is such a sad reality.
I don't really know if I'll be able to put into words exactly what I listened to and what it made me feel and all that kind of stuff. I was going off about it.
You were pretty passionate.
I was fired up because I just couldn't. I'm telling you guys, just go listen to it. Go look her up on the internet. She's done a bunch of podcasts.
She has
written books. She's like
a motivational speaker. Yeah.
And just educate yourselves on the situation that goes over there,
and really just understand that how fortunate we are to live in the circumstances that we live in, because there's
exactly it.
So many political agendas involved when you listen to that episode, when you listen to her speak about growing up in North Korea,
the corruption and why it's still able to go on today.
It's not even corruption. It's just like flat out illegal shit,
fear,
like,
and
it's just like, and no one can do anything about it because there are so many political ties to North Korea, China being a huge one. And
that's the problem right there.
And it's really tough for people to try to fix the situation. I mean, even Rogan actually mentions, he goes like, what can we do to help? And she basically says nothing. I mean, and that is just absolutely twisted on its own. Like there's like a whole other world that goes on that we don't see, that we're completely ignorant to. And to think about the lifestyle that these people live.
I don't even know if we can call it a lifestyle. Like you're in prison the moment you're born over there. Like it's crazy. Anyway, you guys really go twisted. Check it out because we can't really talk about it and put it into words. But kind of from that same part of the world, there's something going on that is totally different, totally unrelated on the different side of the spectrum. The Olympics, us Canadians here, big day, big week, actually.
Yeah.
Andre de Grasse, gold medal, 200 meters.
First time since like the 1920s or something.
Yeah.
Like that. It's been like 93 years or something.
We usually don't have gold medalists in the 200 meters. It's usually just like Donovan Bailey. And I'm pretty sure there's someone else whose name I'm forgetting.
Ben Johnson, maybe?
Canadian,
I cheat all the time.
Yes,
remember?
That's right. Of course I remember. But Penny Alexiak, most decorated Canadian Olympian ever. 7 medals right now.
Yeah.
And just 21 years old.
You know what? I find it crazy that there's no other Olympian in Canadian history. Like, I mean, Michael Phelps got like 7 gold medals or 7 medals in one Olympics.
Like,
yeah. I thought for sure there would be another Olympian in Canadian history that would have more medals, but you know what? 21 years old, and I did want to bring up this tweet actually.
Yeah, because we don't have an Oz today. So we have to kind of just be our own Oz. So work with us, people. We've done this before. Sucks. We're not new to this, right?
No, we're not. We're very capable of running this show, just us two.
Absolutely.
Although get the fuck out of here then. Okay, see ya.
I'm going to pull
I just wanted to say I'm struggling to find out how I can see my past tweets. I don't use Twitter very often. So.
No, you don't. I'm going to type in your name right here on Twitter, but it's had to do with Penny Alexiak and Twitter, right?
I retweeted a tweet.
Her tweet right here,
yeah, correct? Okay, so she goes, so this kind of was really cool to me. I first I read it and I was like, oh God, here we go. But then I was like, you know what? Good for her. So I'm going to read it.
Well, I think there was a thread, wasn't it? No? Okay.
No, I think it was just this one tweet. Anyway, she goes, I just Googled Canada's most decorated Olympian and my name came up. I want to thank that teacher in high school who told me to stop swimming to focus on school because swimming wouldn't get me anywhere. This is what dreams are made of. You know what? I got goosebumps just reading that shit. Like,
hello? You play to win the game.
Imagine 21 years old. You're the most decorated Olympian in Canadian history and you still have several years to go.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Simone Biles from the U.S., the gymnast, 16, I think, from Rio. Right. That's how old she was at the time.
Right.
And people say arguably she's the greatest gymnast of all. Look at us, by the way. Look at us talking gymnastics.
I love it.
And the Olympics.
I love
improvisation.
Yeah.
This is what comes of it.
Hey, listen, what those gymnasts do, and honestly, the lifestyle they live is not great. Like from a very young age, they're just thrown into like very serious training.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you ever watch like cheer videos or those documentaries.
I can't say I do, brother.
Okay, well, I've been forced I've been forced to watch some of those, and I got to tell you, it's a really, really twisted lifestyle. That some of these gymnasts, some of these cheer, like the gymnasts, some of the lifestyles that they go through, really twisted. So I got to give respect to all the people that train so hard to be as good of an athlete as they are. You know what? I forget how hard it is to achieve the things that they've achieved.
Absolutely.
Like I can float. I'm not a fast swimmer.
Yeah, you can float.
I can float.
Use the Somerset swim vest, inflatable tube, sold everywhere near you.
I actually think they embedded one in my body, and that's why I float naturally. Because it's a weird situation there. But yeah, like sometimes, and I know there's tweets that people have said, they've sent out, oh, you should throw one average person in the Olympic events just so we can
That
see
would be incredible.
how good. someone messaged me today, right?
Okay, yes, here we go.
And they sent me a thing on Instagram. It was Rico. No secret there.
He's supposed to come on the pod, by the way.
Is. We'll get him on eventually.
Yeah.
For sure. We should call him up. He works and shit, though. He's
How dare he? Yeah.
RMTs, you know? Anyway, so he sent me this thing, right? And it said Andre DeGrasse's top speed today.
He sent me the same thing, yes.
Faster than Connor McDavid on skates.
41.9 kilometers an hour. I wrote it right here.
You wrote it down right there.
Well, of course, because he sent it to me as well. And I remember thinking, like, that is actually incredible because when you look at McDavid and you watch him on the ice, the guy's flying. But he's on skates. Yeah, there's a little mosquito in. We got a fly in here. It's like Walt in the episode of The Fly.
One episode with the fly. That was a weird
Literally,
one.
the whole episode just was the fly.
Weird one, you're right.
Oh, there it is.
Anyway.
But yeah, so
you're right, because Connor McDavid
he's on ice.
Looks like he's flying, right? And so
DeGrasse has just got his 2 legs and his 2 feet.
I mean, you don't realize how fast they're going because everyone who's racing with him is going fast as fuck.
So I'm going to be a math guy for a second. He ran the 200 meters in 19.6 seconds. Mm-hmm. So
are you trying to make a conversion? Are you trying to convert that into kilometers
he's going
per
10
hour?
meters in less than a second. He's going 10 meters. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That is fucked.
Is that correct?
It's got to be.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yes.
20, 10, 200,
His
20 times 10, 200.
Average time for a 10-meter sprint
is less than a second.
Under a second.
Think about how long 10 meters is. Like a meter is probably what? This? Like this, right? For people watching on YouTube, subscribe so you can see my length and guess if this is a meter.
That's 2 meters.
No way. Remember picking up a meter stick in elementary school?
Yeah, because we were this tall in elementary school, so it looked like it was that big to us. We weren't even a meter tall in elementary. A meter is probably like that.
Do you have a measuring tape in here somewhere? This is where we need Oz to go fetch us a measuring tape. Do you want to ask the landlord?
Find my Giannis jersey.
That's great. Speaking of the jersey over there, it's kind of hanging off the hook. I just noticed that. No, the Coca-Cola Club America, the Mexico jersey. Well, I don't know. I just happened to notice it. Yeah, you know what? That's probably a good point, though. It's probably like that. Okay, it's probably like that.
Do you ever get like those yardstick or the meter long
of candy
gum?
Yeah.
Fuck. See, that's a yard though. I don't think it's a meter. So a yard is a yard's
smaller than a meter, right?
Yeah, yard's probably like a foot, a little more than a foot.
1 yard in meters. What's your guess? Oh, it says right there. 0 point. Yeah,
I actually
you did. You were looking right at it.
Okay. 0. I don't think I would have guessed that though. So
well, it's just a bit shorter than a meter.
Right.
So that's what we said.
A meter's 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters in 1 meter.
Correct.
Sorry, dude. I don't know why we're going deep dive into like grade 2 mathematics right now, like learning conversion.
Improversation.
But
yeah, it's probably
30
about that
centimeters is like that.
Mm-hmm. Why 30?
Because that's like a ruler.
Aren't rulers 50, 25?
30. Ah, fuck, dude. You're making me question.
Well, but anyway, okay, meters like this. Let's stick with this.
So yeah,
let's get off the meter topic. 10 of these in less than a second.
That's a little smaller than a meter now, bro.
It doesn't matter. It's anywhere from here to here. All right, it's something like that.
So 10 meters in a second. I was like, dude,
less.
I was like, a meter in a second. I can run a meter in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody can.
Because when you were doing this, I was like, that doesn't seem very impressive at all.
10 of them, right?
10, it's a lot.
So that's crazy.
Good for him. He's
Mike's
a legend
tweet
out there, you know. Oh yeah, Mike's tweet. Which one?
That was the retweet, as a reminder. But the Canadian women's soccer team sticking with Tokyo just for another minute.
Legends.
They're going for gold. Well, they went for gold last night, past future. We hope they won gold after. Really? Yeah, it's scheduled for Thursday night, so people are listening. It's Friday. Come on, Mike. We're not new to this. Past future.
I am. I never say past future. You do.
You do. Yeah, it's correct. You don't. It's mine. They played last night. Hopefully, they won the gold against Sweden after they beat the U.S. I think it was only the.
Who are we playing?
Sweden! You're damn right, Rammer! In the Olympics! Who we playing, Rammer?
Literally, though.
Yeah. So they had the historic win over the U.S. in the Olympics. I think it was only their 3rd win in the last 60-some-odd games. This is where we need Oz because, you know...
you know what? We're going to have to put a little PSA at the bottom that says, please note, these are not factual because we don't really know if they're factual.
And that's why we have an Oz. That was brought in with the new setup because we talk a lot of shit. We just like talk off the cuff and we need people to check up on us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's going on. Let's hope.
I say a lot of shit, so I need to be fact-checked a lot.
We both do. But we hope Christine Sinclair can lock up another gold medal. Probably one of the greatest women's soccer players of all time, not even just Canada.
Legend, for sure. Yeah, Megan Rapinoe. The
wasn't
Americans
happy about
were,
it.
like, not impressed, you know, obviously, because they lost and they're the favorites. But, like, I mean, they were not... Like, it wasn't even a respectable loss. Like, they took it like a bunch of cowards, in my opinion. Like, yeah. Like, you know, lose with class. And I know that's maybe not your forte, but figure it out, man. This is the Olympics. You're on the world stage.
She said something about, I've never lost to Canada before.
Because it's their first win against the United States in 20 years, in over 20 years or something like that. So
big time.
Kudos to the Canadian
I think
women.
they get the horns for that.
And kudos to all the women in the Olympic Games, the Tokyo 2020
Crushing
games.
it for Canada. Absolutely.
They're keeping Canada, they're keeping our name strong. Really.
Representing well.
We've never been a good summer performing country.
No, yeah, well, winter is obviously Canada. You know,
winter's
got
where
skiing
we're
and hockey and all that kind of stuff.
But yeah, they're making us look good. So kudos to them.
Mike, I want to play a little game with you. Like I said off
games.
the top, it's like a little, would you rather have this or would you rather have that? So as you know, I recently started vending machines.
Nice.
A nice little business, you know, make some little side money.
And it's funny because we're talking about Tokyo 2020 Olympics, that sort of thing.
I know what you're going to say. Yep.
I mean, I have a buddy who went to Japan for an extended period of time, loves it there. And
my sister went to Japan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. That's right. I forgot about that. And they basically were telling me that everything, you can buy anything from a vending machine, from like a car to pizzas to phones, computers.
Absolutely everything.
Probably like literally anything you can buy from a vending machine. And like they don't even have operators for their stores and stuff because it's all automated. So
just a room with machines.
So when we were discussing vending machines, maybe your vending machine venture that you're doing right now, I mean, I think it's a great play. I think there's a lot of growth that can happen within vending machines, especially COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and I think I got a good location for where they're going to be. And, you know, a drink and a snack, it is what it is. And people think like, oh, like, why would you do that? Or like, what is that all about? And yeah, it's a little bit of work to get started and get everything set up.
It is, for sure.
And, you know, it's a little bit stressful, but you got to kind of look, you know, hopefully it'll turn a bit of a profit and you make some side money, right? Because with the way the world's going today and prices rising and inflation, you would know more about this than I would, but it's hard to make a buck out there these days.
It's getting tougher and tougher,
exactly.
Especially when a buck isn't worth what it was a year ago. So
who wouldn't like a little bit extra side cash? We got our golf trip coming up.
We do.
We're gonna need to throw some money down on some side games. You know, going out at night, hitting up the Top Golf and all that kind of stuff.
Always good. Sorry, I had a little bit of a hiccup there. It's always good to have a side gig. You know what they say. Passive money is the way to go, and like to make money when you're not really doing anything. A vending machine business is exactly the way to do that. So, you know,
and we're gonna get it. We're gonna keep going with it if it does well.
Yeah,
you mark my words. And we're gonna have the improvisation.
Absolutely. I already have
improvisation vending.
I have a lot. That'd be fucking hilarious, dude.
Advertising.
I have a lot of plans for the vending machine business and how to grow it. Like I've been thinking about it a lot. I think it's a really good idea. I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
So the whole reason why that story is coming about is I had to make decisions on what to put in the drink machine.
Right.
Specifically.
I remember when you sent that message, you're like, what do you guys, what would you drink? And I didn't know it was about the vending machine. So I was throwing a bunch of shit out there.
And maybe we'll put this on Instagram as well when the episode comes out on Friday. I'll have to write that down to remember.
What would you like to see in a vending machine that's placed in like a sporty environment?
For sure.
And I was like throwing out like Orange Crush and shit. And like, because I didn't know it was sporting and all that stuff. Yeah. But what did we come up with?
Well, what the decision was, I was like, I'm just going to kind of go with my gut and what I usually see in machines. But I really want to know what the people prefer and what you prefer. Exactly. So we know that was kind of like a Christopher Walken there. Like exactly. I don't know what happened there. But it was between like the Pepsi or Coke products, right? So Mike, I want to throw at you a couple drinks, one from each company, and I want you to basically say which one you prefer. And I'll use the highlighter on here and we'll keep track of it.
Okay.
We'll throw it up on Twitter, Instagram. There's that fucking fly. I think I just got it.
Nice. Nice. Attaboy.
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi-Do.
I actually am
Gio-san.
a critically acclaimed flycatcher with my hand.
Critically acclaimed?
Yeah, I can get you a
By
couple.
me? Because I just...
Well, that you're like the fifth person to say that now. So anyway,
hand-eye. The guy hand-eyes off the charts with this guy. Anyway, I worked at a movie theater and we started off serving Pepsi products and halfway
worked at Pepsi.
through... Exactly. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And halfway through, we switched to Coke products, and I was not too pleased with it. But we'll discuss.
will that skew your voting in when we get to the game now?
Actually, the three that I'm looking at right now,
You're going Coke.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Okay,
I'll give you a
let's
bit
do
of a
it.
timer.
Okay.
So we'll start with the standard. Classic Coca-Cola, like Walt's Blue Mist. You want classic Coke?
Right.
Or you like Pepsi, the new hip kid on the block.
I've always leaned towards Pepsi. I don't know if you remember.
Ooh, okay. I was not expecting that.
I don't know if you remember the Pepsi challenge. They used to have it like all the time at like the X and shit where you'd have to guess.
Absolutely.
I don't think I ever
Molson
got
Indy.
it wrong. I think I guessed Pepsi all the time. So I don't know if that was just a really good marketing ploy that made me like Pepsi more because I guessed Pepsi every single time, or they just told me I guessed Pepsi every time. And then I was like, yeah, I guess I like Pepsi.
This guy knows his stuff.
You know, but I think it worked either way because I do prefer the Pepsi product over Coke. I don't drink regular Coke or Pepsi often.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But
when you fancy yourself a drink,
I do actually.
If there was only Coke and Pepsi in the room, you would go for the Pepsi?
I like a can of Pepsi and a can of, or a bottle of Pepsi. Nothing beats Coke. Like
out of the can?
No.
Draft, glass.
Like McDonald's. Like,
fountain.
Thank you. Sorry. I worked at a theater. I forgot what it was called. I used to
fountain drinks,
change those big box syrups.
Just
and
literally
shit.
bags of syrup. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so I like the Coke out of the fountain. Nothing slaps like it. Same with the Sprite.
Yeah. I think I would have to go with Coke on that one.
Okay.
Going Sprite, which this is kind of embarrassing, but not too long ago I found out it was actually a lemon lime drink.
What did you think it was?
I don't know.
Just something?
Just the cheese.
Just like Coke? Like what's Coke?
Yeah.
You know?
Sprite or 7-Up. And contrary to belief, there is a difference between the two in flavor.
There is a difference. And I feel like this is a bit of a unfair, maybe biased question because I haven't had 7-Up in a long, long time.
Okay, fair.
Again, Sprite from McDonald's, that shit is crack. It's completely different than Sprite out of a can. Not a huge fan of Sprite out of a can. What I normally do to Sprite is I add like fresh lemon juice. Like I'll squeeze like half a lemon into it. It makes it a little tart, cuts out the sweetness because it can be very sweet.
I just realized the lights in this room and that fly is still here. It just went past my eye. Too. The blue and green, but Sprite's green and yellow. Is it not? Right? Like lemon lime?
It is, yeah. Actually, I had a can of Sprite in my lunchbox today.
In your lunch bag?
My lunch bag. My lunch bag.
So you had a can of Sprite, but if you had to choose, you go Sprite?
I didn't drink it.
So we got transferred for that now. I
did not drink it.
This is a tough one, but when I really think about it, it's not. Barks root beer or Mug root beer?
So for me, I like Barks. And
Barks has bite, baby.
Barks has bite. And I like root beer that tastes like fucking winter mint. Like minty root beer. I don't know if you've had that. Like I've had like hard root beers where it's like almost like a minty flavor. It's refreshing.
When you get those like indie brands or the smaller brands of root beer. Yeah.
So like I'm a big Barks guy. I don't mind Mug. It's just not the same. A&W.
I was going to throw at you. Barks or A&W?
I think I still got to go with Barks. Which is wild because like
you are a hater.
Yeah, like I don't know if I've ever. You know what? To be fair, I haven't had Barks in a while. I've had A&W recently.
I used to drink Barks all the time. So good.
So my dad used to work at A&W when he was like 18 years old in Sudbury, Ontario, and he would mix the root beer by hand. Like
what?
Like it'd be like in a big cauldron.
Barrel?
Yeah, like a barrel, literally like a barrel.
Leaky cauldron.
Yeah, the leaky cauldron. Yeah, exactly. And he told me he would dump equal parts syrup and like soda water into like a container, and with like a huge mallet, he's just sitting there.
That's crazy.
Stirring
the butter.
Yeah.
All right.
Really crazy.
We'll move on to the next one. But Barks
has
a favorite.
History. It has character, which I respect. I just like that.
I just don't think you beat the Barks has bite, right?
Exactly. I agree.
This one might have a little bit of thinking.
This one's easy. Crush.
Yeah, I was
Fanta
maybe
or Crush?
Maybe not a little bit of thinking. Fanta or Crush is what the question was. Crush, honestly, their orange is just.
I really want
orange.
to Fanta. I really want to Fanta!
And they have the grape, the cream soda. The store where I get all my products now for the vending machines, they have flavors you have never even seen. They had a watermelon crush, which I tried. You know what? Too sweet. Not that good.
Agreed.
They had like a ginger root.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a root beer.
Ginger beer. Yeah,
vanilla.
Ginger beer.
They had like some crazy ones.
I've seen a few of them. They have like a lime crush.
Yep.
Anyway, they have lots of different flavors. I actually really like Crush. I'm a big Crush guy. Orange Crush, second to none.
Yep.
Unless you go to Europe, and Fanta in Europe is
big. It's
next
big.
level. So it's different too. Like it's different than it is here. Like it comes in glass bottles for the most part. At least where I've been in Europe.
In Prague, when I was there in the Czech Republic, Di Serono and Orange Fanta was the mixed drink of choice for whatever reason.
What a hangover.
Yep.
Di Serono on the rocks. Remember those commercials?
Yeah, of course. So
people
moving
used
on
to
now.
say Di Serono. Sorry, man.
That's okay. No,
but
you're
Di
good.
Serono mixed with Coke, they say it just tastes exactly like Dr. Pepper, which I fucking love too.
Yes,
Dr. Pepper.
that's what it was. So you have Dr. Pepper with the Fanta.
Yes.
This might touch home a little bit. The Schweppes or Canada Dry.
It's got to be Schweppes.
Oh, no way.
It's got to be the Schweppes, baby. Yeah, I know.
No
Canada
way.
Dry. People love the Canada Dry. I only love Schweppes because we made a sweet vine about Schweppes. Like, if you don't drink Schweppes, then fuck you. Remember that one? Anyway.
It was if you don't drink Amp.
Oh, it was Amp. So anyway, there was another Schweppes one too, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. And which we can't even find our old lines, which is like the most rattling thing ever.
I don't know if that came through on the mic, but the video was an Amp. If you don't drink Amp, then fuck you.
If you don't drink Amp, then
or if you
fuck
don't chew Big Red, then fuck you. But the one we did, it was in the hockey
Schweppes?
arena.
Fuck.
No, it was an Amp. It was an Amp.
But we did Schweppes too.
Okay, well, the Vine. Put your stuff back online.
Yeah, like what the hell, man?
Release the Kraken.
I would be famous right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on the hunt for Mr. Donald.
Verner's is the best ginger ale.
Verner's,
in
that
my opinion.
That is the Pepsi one.
It is the Pepsi.
Yeah,
one. And I like it. It's
along
my
with Schweppes. They have Verner's and Schweppes.
Actually, we just had a Verner's last week. Nat and me. We fucking went and got Verner's.
I gotta say, never tried it.
It's
and
like
I worked
spicier
at Pepsi.
and less sweet, and I like it.
Yeah,
it's got a nice kick to it.
Brisk or Nestea?
Okay, so I used to love Brisk.
Mm-hmm.
It was just always better than Nestea.
Brisk also has the lemonade too. Yeah.
Brisk does have the lemonade. So when we had our Pepsi products at the theater, that's what we
lemonade
had.
iced
Brisk and we had the lemonade, and I used to mix them. Nothing better.
Mm-hmm.
However, Brisk is just too sweet. It's just
sweet.
way too sweet. And if you look at Nestea, it's not as sweet as like a Coke, for example. It has like half the sugar of a Coke, or 10 grams of sugar less than.
They're kind of
Coke.
similar to like the U.S. iced tea, which
like sweet tea or whatever.
If you ever just go order iced tea and you're from Canada and the U.S. and you're not gonna get what you think you're getting.
Exactly, you're absolutely right for sure. So I like it. I like Nestea now. Brisk out of a bottle, little too sweet for me. I fuck with both.
Yeah,
still.
Fair enough. I'd probably choose an ST, but Gatorade or Powerade? Don't forget a nice melon pine Powerade.
Melon pineapple.
But like a blue Gatorade or a blue Powerade? I think personally, I'm going with Powerade.
When I was a kid,
Powerade out of a can. You ever had it?
I have, and at ice sports, right? Remember, you get the blue Powerade out of a can.
And we used to have it in elementary school.
Nothing quenched my thirst like a Powerade out of a can.
I completely agree. We are on the same page, my friend.
Nothing ever. Gatorade, I like their icy flavors, like their icy blues and shit.
G2 crap.
I used to like them. It's changed. Like I used to love Powerade when I was a kid.
Yep.
Switched to Gato sauce, and I don't know. I don't really drink either very often. But I think I'm more inclined to buy Powerade than
I got 2 cases of Powerade sitting in my car.
Which is crazy because I heard a rumor that Coke only keeps Powerade around as a competitor to Gatorade, even though they don't make money on Powerade.
Yeah.
They lose money on Powerade, but they keep it around just to have a product to compete with Gatorade.
When I worked at Pepsi, I learned a lot of things like that. Like they don't make a profit on their cans. They break even, and they say that's their advertising for bars, parties, all that kind of stuff. But I'm totally going with Powerade. I say to Gatorade,
stay in your lane.
Energy drink time. Rockstars or Monsters? I know you're a big energy drink guy because we stole that case of Red Rain up in university.
Yeah.
Red Bull guy. Rockstar, they are the Pepsi product, I believe. They had this flavor. It was blue and pink. It was almost like a blueberry cotton candy.
Pepsi product.
They might be both, but I know Rockstar is for sure. But anyway, Rockstar had this flavor, and they had multiple flavors that were just so good. I don't drink energy drinks anymore.
I gotta tell you a funny story about energy drinks. My brother had collected about 200 different cans of energy drinks.
Different kinds?
He collected them. He drank so many energy drinks in his life that he would collect each individual can. He had over 200 different kinds of energy drink
What did
cans.
he do with them?
I don't know if he ended up throwing them out, dude. But like that can't be good for you. We were talking about, it circles back to Christian Eriksen and like how I mentioned, if this guy's drinking energy drinks all the time, then
maybe because he was giving out free endorsements.
Again,
probably.
This is not factual. None of this is factual. Not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
Yeah, Fremulon. Not a doctor.
But what would you choose?
I'm a big
off the brand.
I'm a big
one?
Rockstar guy.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to Dollarama and I'll buy like a Rockstar for like $2. Love them.
Yeah.
I don't mind a Monster. I'm a big Red Bull guy. They're too expensive. I'll buy them if they're on sale.
They're ridiculously expensive. It's on sale. What do you want?
I love energy drinks. I love the taste of them. I just think they taste like bubblegum and deliciousness. So I like them. Harvey's has a fucking Red Bull slushie. I don't know if you ever had that. Wild, dude.
That's crazy.
That's
We've
unethical.
talked about our friend that
unethical.
drinks Red Bull vodkas that can almost stop your heart, which is
Again, unethical.
We'll put that on Twitter. We'll put that on Instagram. You guys can vote, and we'll kind of come to a consensus. Maybe read the responses next week. But switching gears now, Kyle Lowry off to the Miami Heat. 3 years,
Is it
$90 million. I think it's about to be official. It's supposed to be a sign-in trade deal.
Right.
The rumor is coming back to us is Goran Dragic and Precious Achua. My precious. That was right. So that is allegedly is allegedly the deal. He's 35 years old, Kyle Lowry?
34, 35?
And
probably 35.
Maybe a little bit older, and he's going to be getting paid till he's 38, 39, high 30s, and he's making 30 sheets a year.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Can't even be mad that the Raptors are moving on.
No.
He's going to Miami to team up with Jimmy Butler, who signed a 4-year max extension today. Or, sorry, not today. Last week. Reportedly today, past future, Victor Oladipo signing with the Miami Heat. Bam, our boy, still down there. Tyler Hero, still down there. They're going to have a pretty good team. Yep. DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, going to the Chicago Bulls. Milwaukee Bucks, reigning champs.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets are stacked again. Right?
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be tough sledding for the Raptors,
It's going to be tough.
4th overall pick, Scotty Barnes. He looks like he's going to be an absolute beautician.
I like
Guys
Scotty
are love
Barnes.
him.
You know what? I was talking
Hard
to
worker,
someone,
culture guy.
Yeah, I was talking to someone that said they think they made a colossal error drafting Scotty Barnes.
Was it?
No,
it wasn't Rico.
No,
I thought he would have been.
It was a guy.
On a pick
it was
like that.
someone I golfed with yesterday, saying that you don't get a top 5 pick very often, and when you do, you need to draft the best talent, the guy that has the most offensive potential for you. That's what he was basically saying. I don't know what he's going off of or what.
Yeah, you can make that argument. There's two sides to it. Like the idea was that Suggs was the NBA ready guy. And the Raptors, and I was going to segue into this and about Masai and his drafting history and what the Raptors have been able to find deep in the draft and what they've been able to produce and how they've elevated guys' careers. Kyle Lowry being one of them. Yep. Trust the process, believe in Masai, but Scotty Barnes is allegedly a guy. Look, it's not even that much of a reach. He was supposed to go 5 on everyone else's mock draft board. So it's not like they dipped down 10 or 15 guys down the board. They went and got one guy below.
They didn't do what Ottawa did.
Ottawa. Tyler Boucher,
Ottawa
number
Senators,
10, who was pegged to go anywhere from 35 to 60, and they took him at 10. It's nothing like that. But Scotty Barnes apparently has the most upside, the most potential, and can turn into
better than
a
anything,
superstar.
He's happy to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
He
works hard. He's putting in the time, putting in the work. He knows what it takes to get here. That's what you want. So, just believe in Masai. Trust the process.
I do, for sure.
So before we get back to Kyle Lowry, because we're on the subject now, ever since Masai took over, which was in 2013, obviously he's had some blunders of draft picks. Like, no one's going to be perfect. But if you look right after there, he took Bruno Caboclo. That was a bust. But, DeLon Wright came in. He played some pretty good minutes for us. Never turned into like a superstar for being a 20th overall.
Had a high ceiling too.
Exactly. But look at the year after that, 2016. Pascal Siakam, Look what he turned into for us, what he did in the championship run. Jakob Poeltl was taken 9th ahead of Pascal that year. He was a piece that was flipped to get Kawhi in a trade where DeMar DeRozan, who was the hometown boy, not hometown, but you know what I mean, just got his career going, and he re-signed in Toronto, and, Masai and the whole staff helped really elevate his game into becoming a perennial NBA All-Star and to the player he was. Made that crazy trade.
Can you imagine being DeMar and like Masai like raises you like a son basically, and then he just trades you away? Like, how personal? Like that, it's hard not to take that personally.
Yeah, like DeMar was drafted in 2009, 9th overall, so he had already played 4 years, and that's just kind of like the baby of your career in the NBA. And, he was really starting to come into his form, and Masai came around and brought into his team. Valanciunas was taken before Masai got here, but, he
JV's
really
a great
elevated
pick.
his game. Yeah, it was a good pick.
Love JV.
But it wasn't taken by Masai. But anyway, after Poeltl and Siakam, Anunoby, the guy's a starting 3 for us. He's getting 23 overall. So these are guys you're finding in the 20s. Right. So I understand the person you're talking about, and, you got to take the best guy, but it's not like it was a reach.
It's not a reach. It's not a reach. But he's like, how can you take a guy that can't shoot? I've looked at his highlight reel. it's not like he's a horrible shooter.
Yeah, and guess who couldn't shoot when they got drafted by the Raptors? Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby.
DeMar couldn't even shoot.
Kyle Lowry became a better shooter over time. It's
going to come. It's going to come with practice, and I think he's the one player. Contrary to what I maybe have a predisposed idea of like NBA players and stuff, he seems like one of the players in that draft that actually knows like how to work,
has the attitude,
has the right attitude. That's
just what we saw.
Exactly.
That's just what we saw.
I don't know anything about him really, other than what I've seen.
But the whole point of this was the Raptors have a track record of finding, not in the top 5, but finding guys in the draft and developing them into really good, solid, borderline all-star superstar players in the NBA. So trust the process. If you got a framework on a guy like Scotty Barnes already, and sometimes you just need a guy like Nick Nurse, for example, one of the best coaches in the league, in your ear, telling you what to do, and his assistant staff and all that. So I'm not worried about it. But anyway, Kyle Lowry moves on. One of the greatest Raptor of all time.
Legend by
the greatest Raptor of all time.
Respect.
His number deserves to go up in Scotiabank Arena first over Vince Carter. I don't care what anyone says about that. The guy won a championship. The guy had, his ups and downs in Toronto. Times he didn't speak to the media. That, obviously the beginning of 2019 with the DeMar trade for Kawhi, came out in the media and was basically throwing Masai under the bus. I'm not talking to him. I don't want anything to do with him. And it comes full circle. And when they won the championship that night, by the way, Game 6, Kyle Lowry, double-double, but had like 7 blocks, 3 steals.
That was a freak.
Kawhi even said it to him when they were doing the post-game with Rachel Nichols, hey, man, this is yours.
Yeah.
You deserve this more than I do. Kyle Lowry, he turned into a champion that night, and the clip of Masai after all that nonsense that went on before he got onto the court.
I remember that.
And Kyle Lowry grabbed him, and they just kind of looked at each other, and they grabbed each other with such force for a hug. It looked like it had that... You could see the whole story of the year in those 5 seconds.
I'm gonna,
where it's like,
cry, dude. I'm actually fucking feeling
No, but seriously, when you go look at that clip, it's like Masai looked at him and was like, "I fucking told you. I know you hated me, but look what we just did." Yeah. And it's like all that shit.
I'm getting goosebumps again.
Yeah, man. Bro. All that shit just went out the window, and it's like we did it. We actually did it, and. To what we said last week, fuck Brooklyn.
Yeah.
All that shit. It's so crazy. Kyle Lowry is here for it all. The missing the shots in Game 7.
People hated Lowry. They wanted to trade him.
They thought he thought he was going to be gone so many times.
I'm glad we stuck it out. He's the kind of player that I will take on my team no matter what his stats are because of his work ethic, because of what he can teach to other players about what it takes to work hard and become a better player. The guy came back 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I remember in the offseason, I think it was 2016 versus 2017. I saw a picture of him after I hadn't seen him for 3 months.
So much weight.
And the guy just looked so cut and in shape. And I just knew, in the right place. I just knew this is going to be the guy that's going to do it for us.
100%.
People hated him, including you. I don't know if you remember that.
I wasn't the biggest fan. No,
we're not the
biggest
fan. You guys, a lot of people. And I said, no, this guy's
totally changed my opinion, man.
This guy's got what it takes. And I'm happy he proved all the haters wrong. Look at DeMar still.
Yeah, DeMar still leads most of the categories in Raptors history, but right behind him, Kyle Lowry's second in games played, second in minutes played, fourth in field goals, second in field goal attempts, fifth in field goals, fifth in 2-point field goal attempts, the leader in 3 points made, the leader in 3-point attempts, fourth in free throws, and eighth in offensive rebounds, first in steals, first in assists.
What about charges?
Third in
Do they have
total
charges?
rebounds. Yeah, charges taken. Yeah.
Like, seriously.
He's second all-time in points. Leads the history in triple-doubles with 16.
By the way,
the guy is just a perennial. He's the greatest Raptor of all time.
Do charges count as charges don't count as a steal or anything like that.
No, but they should.
If they did, that guy would have a shitload of steals. That guy put his body in front of anyone and everyone.
Arguably the best player to take a charge in the NBA.
Just a legend, man. Yeah. I just love the way he played the game. It's going to be sad to see him in another jersey, especially Miami. I don't really like Miami.
Yeah, I don't really like Miami either, but they have a really good team. Good for him. Go try and get another ring.
Respect. I hope for the best for him, obviously.
Absolutely. What was I going to? Oh, yeah, because the LA Lakers, they also made some moves.
LA Lakers?
The LA Lakers, the LA old timers. LeBron James.
Oh, my God.
Russell Westbrook. Yeah. Anthony Davis.
They have 7 players over the age of 32 or 8 players over the age of 32, something like that.
They might be even older, the age of 33. They might be even older, 34.
Yeah, maybe it's 34. Anyway, that's an old team.
Do you think it's going to work?
I don't know. If they're trying to win a championship in 2012, maybe.
It's crazy, man.
2010, I don't know.
Can't count out LeBron, obviously, but Melo, really? Dwight Howard? They dropped Andre Drummond after they picked him up in March, and they're going to replace him with Dwight Howard. I get it. He was there when they won the chip 2 years ago, but it's Dwight Howard. Come on. Andre Drummond's probably a better player.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the way that some of this shit's going down. It's
he's the GM.
Who can we get? What boys can we get to win a championship with us? Because I'm gonna win the championship. So who wants to come along for the ride? Dwight, fucking Melo,
teaming up. That's why I think we both agree with this, that Giannis and Milwaukee winning the NBA championship, even when the Raptors won.
It's the biggest to everyone
to super
else.
teams and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I know Kawhi, but I wouldn't.
It's not a super team. Man.
It wasn't a super team.
You're not acquiring Durant and Harden and Kyrie
Blake
to make
Griffin.
your fucking team.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're just not doing it. You're not acquiring Anthony Davis and LeBron James and whoever else the Lakers want to get on.
Golden State minus Kevin Durant was the best example of how you build your team. You threw the draft, keep your guys, you build a dynasty.
That's why I never hated Golden State.
I never hated it because they did it themselves.
They did it. I mean, and then when Durant came on, I was like, okay, well, fuck these guys. I'm sick of them.
Yeah, but
you didn't need to do that.
You didn't need him.
You didn't need
Durant
to do
needed
that.
them. They didn't need him.
Draymond Green told KD, the Slim Reaper,
we don't need you.
Durantula, that he doesn't like to be called because he's. But anyway,
a twig. Yeah.
It's just you didn't need to go and get Kevin Durant, okay?
No, you didn't. Speaking of crazy stories that went on, not just in the NBA, the Evander Kane story in the NHL. So, do you really know what went on?
About, eh?
There is. We're gonna try and get through it all.
We've been going strong.
Yeah, we're about halfway through. Yeah. Oh, well, 3/4 of the way.
Yeah,
we'll try and get through it. We do have to give the people big science.
I was gonna say, do we still have big science? Are we gonna do the other thing?
We'll try and get to it.
We're gonna get to it.
We will. It won't take that long.
I want to.
Anyway, Evander Kane allegedly. I'm gonna read something off of ESPN, but I kind of know what happened. Excuse me, almost choked. Sunday night on Instagram, Anna Kane, which is his wife, soon to be ex-wife apparently, alleged that her husband bet on San Jose Sharks games with bookies, in quotation marks. So, he talked to Paulie Walnuts. He said, hey, put me down for a couple boxes of baked ziti on the Sharks games. And threw the games for gambling purposes. She also claimed that Evander had a gambling addiction that was causing the couple hardship. In response, Evander posted on Twitter that he has never bet on hockey, including Sharks games, and has never thrown a game. Before you jump in, all I think of is, what's his name? Rafael Palmeiro, New York Yankees. I did not do steroids, period. And then they found out he did steroids. Yeah, he admitted to it not too long after that.
I don't even know,
we did see the picture of Evander Kane holding up the stacks of money to his ear years ago. Years ago.
His first major
might have been
contract.
in Buffalo still, to be honest.
I forgot he was there, dude.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Winnipeg, Buffalo.
I think it was in Winnipeg when he did it.
Somewhere around the beginning of his career.
Anyway, yeah, he had held a stack of I don't know, must have been $100K to his ear.
Yeah.
And obviously he got a lot of backlash from it, and it's no secret that the guy's horrible with his money. Mm-hmm. I think he's got creditors and age like debt agencies like skimming his contract, like his salary to pay off his debts and shit, right?
Yeah, so there, yeah, absolutely, because there was, like his wife had alleged, there is proof of his history in the past. So not only was there that picture,
I don't know about proof of gambling, but there's proof of
there's this
him
story.
having money problems.
Yes, in April 2019, he failed to pay a $500,000 casino marker from the Cosmopolitan while he was in town for a playoff series against the Golden Knights. Cosmopolitan filed a complaint in November 2019, and the case was dropped by the casino at some point in 2020. In January, Kane filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. As part of his legal filings, he claimed to have lost $1.5 million in gambling at a casino and via bookie over a 12-month span leading up to his bankruptcy pension. According to Cap Friendly, petition, sorry, I can't really see that far. Okay. Genie, I can't see that far. According to Cap Friendly, Kane has lifetime earnings in the NHL of just under $56 million. He's 3 years into a $49 million contract with the Sharks and has $26 million remaining on it.
It's just really sad, man. It's just a sad story. Like,
so
when you get young kids in the NHL, like, and that they don't, or not, and anything, you know, they can be young and have money from anything, celebrity, whatever.
Look what happened to Bieber when he got really famous. He was going through all that shit.
I've heard a lot of shit about Bieber, actually. How he's a big fucking prick. He was a loser in school and like, just an asshole. Anyway, whatever.
Improvisation.
Billionaire, probably. Anyway, so it's just sad to see. Like, I really think it's important that these guys are set up with like a money manager from the get-go, because shit like this, it's just sad to see.
Don't do your money dealings with the parents of Jack Johnson, because they will take all your money.
Is that what happened?
Remember that story?
No.
The defenseman in the NHL.
I remember Jack Johnson.
His parents were his agents, or maybe they weren't his agents, but his parents had...
Was this some Britney Spears shit?
Stolen all their money, dude. I'm going to be Oz for a second. The Jack Johnson money story, NHL. I kind of typed in a little bit there.
From a millionaire to bankruptcy.
Yeah, so let's try and decide.
Case of parents blowing an athlete's money.
So let me try and read a little bit from an article from Forbes back in... when was this written? 2014. So over his NHL career, Jack Johnson earned $18 million. In 2011, he signed a 7-year, $30.5 million contract. And on October 7th, he filed for bankruptcy.
3 years later.
Yeah. So according to Aaron Portzline, who's a reporter down for the Blue Jackets, it started with Johnson handling over power of attorney to his mother. Thereafter, Tina, which is his mother, and her husband, Jack Sr., tried to monetize Johnson's $30.5 million contract by borrowing money secured against their son's future earnings.
No.
According to court documents, she borrowed at least $15 million across about 18 high-interest loans that resulted in multiple defaults. Some of these loans had high interest rates as high as 24%. Using their son's money, the parents also bought a beach house in Manhattan Beach, California. They also allegedly each bought a car, spent more than $800,000 on upgrades to the house, and traveled often to see him play games for the Kings and Blue Jackets. And according to Portzline, he was Jack Johnson, the son, the victim, was not aware of anything, and he had been sued multiple times for defaulting on loans.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. Wild. Dude, you never heard that story?
I don't recall.
Wow, yeah, it was wild.
That's so twisted. And like, I'm in that similar, like, I'm in like the money industry kind of, right? And like, there's like extensive rules on like power of attorney, who can sign them. Usually it's the other way around. There's the kid is trying to abuse or take advantage of the parent and their money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a sad situation to see, like your own parents just cleaning you out, doing stupid shit. Like, why are you taking a loan on someone else's salary?
It's ridiculous.
Why is that even legal, United States?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Can you do that in Canada?
Probably not.
I hope not.
I don't think so. Like I mean, if Jack Johnson signs something that secures his parents' loans against his money, he can do that. But against future earnings is... You know, that's a stretch, because future earnings, how can you count,
and you're an
count
athlete.
your chickens before they hatch or whatever, right? And you're an athlete, like you said, you can get injured, you can get bought. I don't know, lots of shit can happen.
Yep.
I just don't know how they were able to take an $18 million loan or whatever it was at a rate of 24%. That's illegal. That's illegal shit right there.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly... I don't even think he should be subjected to have to pay that shit back because like it's totally fraudulent.
Well, they probably would have to go through they break everything down. It'd be years and years in the courts. But back to Kane. So the NHL is trying to figure out if this actually happened. ESPN, it says they've reached out to a few players who knew Kane or have played with him. None have said they ever heard him mention betting on hockey.
Right.
They knew he liked to gamble, but not actually on hockey games. You know, he was wagering on football, basketball, college football.
Is it a stretch to believe, though, that if you're struggling on betting on, betting other sports, other things, if you're struggling with that, not doing too well at the casino tables or whatever, why not choose something that you can maybe somewhat control? Maybe give yourself some better chances at winning some money back and maybe paying off your fucking debts so you're not bankrupt, It's not, to me, it's not a far stretch to assume like, he probably reached a point where he was like, I have no other recourse but to throw this game and try to make some money back.
Well, look at Pete Rose from the MLB. It's a little bit of a different story, but he was caught betting on games as a manager. And that became the whole other story. Maybe we can get into it one day when we got nothing to talk about. But he's banned from basically getting into the Cooperstown to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And you look at his numbers, he's arguably one of the best players of all time. But it's because of this betting on baseball. But back to the story, several longtime Nevada bookmakers from multiple casinos said they have never seen or heard Kane betting on sports in town. There are many more sportsbook options than just Las Vegas, of course, including local and offshore bookmakers who could offer more anonymity than regulated U.S. betting markets. So when I think of that, all I can think about is
stupid fucking game.
Those guys from The Sopranos and that kind of shit.
Literally,
so
that's exactly what it is.
We'll see what comes of it. I thought I had read on Twitter that, teammates on San Jose have come out and said, we don't even want him back in the room. Like, we got to get this guy out here before the season starts. Who knows what the hell is going to happen?
Really, really messed up. I mean, I hate to see shit like that. Just don't do stupid shit. Like, be smart,
So, you know what, Mike? Let's kind of change things up. Usually we end with the big science fact of the week, but let's throw it in right before a real or freel.
Yes, I'm stoked for that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what this is either.
Well, it's going to be number 10 because this is episode number 10. I will read it this week. It takes 8 minutes.
I love this one.
This is once again mind-boggling, but
just so cool.
Let's roll across the bottom.
Yeah.
It takes 8 minutes and 19 seconds for light to travel from the sun to Earth. In space, light travels at least 300,000 kilometers per second. Even at this breakneck speed, covering the 150 million odd kilometers between us and the sun takes considerable time. And 8 minutes is still very little compared to the 5.5 hours it takes for the sun's light to reach Pluto.
Wild, eh?
Very wild.
Like, it's pretty crazy because they were saying, I remember I saw something on Instagram, I'm telling you, like, it's great. I love that shit. But it showed what would happen to the Earth if the sun ever exploded, right? And I mean, it seemed like a pretty realistic depiction of what would actually happen. Literally, just think of fire everywhere. Like, just think about the sun zooming in on Earth and just engulfing it. That's essentially what it would be like.
Well, isn't it true if the sun moves just even a little bit closer, like we're gonna burn?
Yeah, ridiculous. Like the fact that we're even alive is pretty wild. That's another conversation. That's a whole other episode of a podcast. But you wouldn't see the sun explode for 8 minutes and 19 seconds. So it would be like, you would be doomed and not know it for 18 minutes and 19 seconds because
8 minutes.
Sorry, 8 minutes and 19 seconds. Which is just a crazy fact. Like, like that's crazy.
That's actually kind of wild to think of. It's
right?
like, boom, and then you don't know. This is your last 8 minutes and 19 seconds on Earth.
So, and another thing, Carl Sagan, which we've mentioned before, I really like the guy. He's dead, but like
we're supposed to
liked him.
We're supposed to bring up some of his videos, the Flatland and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We got to do
Blue
that.
Dot. Anyway, he had another one. I think it was Carl Sagan. It could have been Neil deGrasse Tyson. Either way, both legends. And they were basically talking about, it's called like the ghost story, and it's not about traditional ghosts that you would think. It's about looking up in the sky, right, and looking at the stars, and essentially those stars are millions of light years away, right? So the light that we're seeing from those stars in the sky, we're seeing that a million years ago.
Yeah.
That was what it
I've heard
looked
some
like
crazy
a
shit.
million
Yeah.
years ago. So that star could not even exist, but we don't know. We won't see that event happen because it takes so long for the light to reach Earth. It takes millions of years sometimes, right? So
that's jogging my memory now.
So there's stars up there that could have exploded thousands and millions of years ago, and we just don't know yet because we
can't see it.
We can't see it. And if that doesn't fuck your brain up, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know. This might fuck your brain up, though. So we're going to quickly jump to another segment, Real or Freel, that we haven't done in quite a long time. So
Real or Freel.
I was on Instagram yesterday or the other day, and I came across this video. And it struck me as kind of odd because of where it took place and how nothing had happened. So I'm going to play it for you. It was a man was duct taped to his seat after allegedly groping two female flight attendants. So I'm going to play the video, and you got to tell me if this was real or freel, Mike. All right? So let's just go here.
No, I did see this.
You guys fucking suck. My parents are worth fucking $2 million goddamn dollars. And you know what? You fucking suck. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? My grandpa is worth more than
My grandpa, my parents are worth $2 million.
Oh, and we got someone coming in now. Now, I don't know if those are flight attendants or
so that's what I'm
civilians.
That's what I was trying to think of as well.
They're duct taping this guy to the chair. People are taking videos laughing.
They're duct taping his mouth, dude. Like,
is that the flight attendant doing that?
Like, that's illegal. You can't
That's
do
what I'm
that.
saying. How did they let this go on? So we'll stop the video there. But that made no sense to me. I was like, how is the plane not landing, or how is there not someone with more of a physical presence, like a security or a flight marshal or whatever? How are they allowing that to go on the plane? Who thought the flight attendants, it was a good idea, I would just duct tape them to the chair?
Well, so you made a valid point there. So initially, when I saw the guy duct taping him to the chair and like duct taping his mouth, I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, that's not illegal. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But part of me was like, okay, so it probably is like an undercover cop that's on the flight, because they have them. They do have them on, like, I don't know if it's random, I don't know if it's every flight, but they do have undercover cops on flights now, especially since like
absolutely since 9/11
stuff. Yeah. I've seen that shit before. I haven't seen anyone duct tape someone to a chair.
That's what I'm saying.
But
that's what I'm saying, Brooksy.
It's not. It doesn't seem obscene or absurd or obscene. I don't know if they're the same meaning. It doesn't seem absurd to think that the last resort is I got to duct tape this guy because he's a danger to everyone on the plane.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't they usually apprehend the guy without duct tape with handcuffs or something, and then they like land the plane, turn it around, something?
So that's what I was like, this is ridiculous.
People
like,
are laughing and taking videos like it's a sideshow.
Exactly. Like, they would be landing the plane if it was such a big deal. They wouldn't be duct taping. I mean, maybe they did end up landing the plane. I don't know. We could probably do a deeper dive.
Maybe the guy was on.
I don't think it's fake because I can hear like the plane like
I know, but
and like you can see little turbulence and like I think it's a real video. The guy's just obviously drunk out of his mind. Probably.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think the guy was on the borderline of crossing the line where they're like, okay, we're going to keep this guy on the plane. We'll just duct tape him, but he's not causing that much of a scene where we have to land the plane. He was just talking shit.
You don't duct tape someone unless it's a fucking emergency.
That's what I don't get, dude.
There's no chance you duct tape a person to their seat as a precautionary measure. There's just no chance.
I agree.
We better duct tape this guy before he pisses all over the place again. Like, they're not. You can't be duct taping people. Like, that can't be your go-to like restraining choice. You know.
I agree, and that's why I brought it up, because I was like, "This is real," and then it's fake, and then it's like, "What?" It was going back and forth.
There was probably a situation where he needed to be restrained. They couldn't land for a little while. Maybe they were over an ocean or something like that. Closest airport wasn't for a while, whatever. Or their closest destination was the destination that they were supposed to be going to.
Yeah.
So they were probably like, we have no choice but to duct tape this motherfucker to a chair.
It's like so wild.
It's crazy.
It's so
I can't
wild.
believe that happened.
I know.
I saw it, and I remember I watched it. I scrolled by it. I was like, stupid. Just
so did
don't
I.
be
But then I
stupid.
saw part 2 come up today, and I was like, you know what? This is a good, like, what the fuck is going on here?
It's just it's weird to see shit like that, eh? Like you don't. I'm a pretty nervous flyer myself. I don't know about you. Like I
agree.
I'm scared of heights.
I've been on long flights too. I've been to Europe a couple times.
bro.
I flew to Thailand.
Yeah.
I flew on little I don't know what the plane's called. We should ask our boy Chilto what the plane's called, but
Boeing 737. No,
they were
a big
small ones. It was just one row down the middle,
Yeah.
2 seats on either side.
Yeah.
It was Air Asia. We were flying from Bangkok down to Ao Nang, I believe, was one of the
You said it was a
southern
sketchy
places.
plane and shit,
40
too?
minutes. It was just small. It was like
So you feel everything a little better.
Yeah.
like a little more. And like,
you were like, it felt like you were just at a small plane.
like a
I
motorcycle
don't know how to
versus a
explain it.
car. Like, you
that's
know what
kind
I
of what it
mean?
felt
Like-
like. It felt like you were going from a luxury van to like a smart car. And it was just weird. I was like, this is kind of sketchy. And I traveled so much over that trip. But
Anyway, if
Yeah.
I saw that on a flight, dude, I would have a fucking panic attack. I'd be like, what the
is
fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
Like I'd
I'd have to
lose my
look.
mind.
Would you watch? Or would you be afraid that the guy makes eye contact with you and he's like, hey, I'm coming after you. You know what I mean? Just like, don't look. I don't want to look. I'm just going to keep my head down.
I don't know, man. I've been on some sketchy flights, and like I don't think it would even have phased me. I probably would have just been focused on either sleeping or like
Sleeping or
just trying not
headphones
to
in, yeah.
die. I have no control over that if I'm in a plane, right? Like my fate's
I know.
already decided for me.
I just think I would try to avoid eye contact, but I'd really want to see what's going on.
I don't know. Maybe I want to be the hero.
Yeah?
You never know. Maybe I would be the guy duct taping him to a fucking chair.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly.
Because he's stressing me out.
Yeah.
Like maybe he was just stressing the guy out.
Like, first of all, the alleged thing on what he did, they make no reference to that in the video or whatsoever. You don't see anything, but that's wild shit, man. What a crazy episode. This was good for episode number 10.
Yeah, no Oz. I mean,
We kind of held it together.
we don't know if everything's factual that we said, you know, but like
If
how
not-
big's a meter?
Yeah, exactly.
Tune in next week.
How big is a meter? But thanks for listening or watching today's episode. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave a nice rating or a review.
Smash, smash.
Hit us up on our social media channels at Improversation Pod on Instagram, TikTok, at Improversation P on Twitter.
Follow me.
We're out of here. Until next week.
Well, then get the fuck out of here then. Okay, see ya.